Right, guys, I did an interview very recently with a guy called Maverick, or the channel is called Maverick, and I'm going to put it here for you now. So some of you may or may not have seen this, but I said I'm going to help him out and put it up, and I'll put a link to his channel below. It was just a lot of you guys who follow me will know a lot of these answers, but I thought we'd better get it out there so people can see it again. And again, please remember, I'm responding to his questions. I'm not just slagging off organisations. I'm responding to questions which I have to have the same answer for. I have to have my answers. Got to be solid, hasn't it? So there you go. So let me know what you guys think. Pass it about if you can. Help this guy go along and subscribe to his channel and enjoy.
So how did you get into ninjaing? I'm like, well, actually, I started in Kung Fu, but you see what had happened was...
First of all, thank you for the interview. It's a privilege and an honor again. I had a great time, and like I said before through our emails and stuff like that, ever since that last interview, I've been reading up on a lot on your information, buying a lot of your books and things like that. I've gotten into a few debates since then, and it seems to me like because of who you are and what you've done, a lot of people don't want to admit that you are right.
Yeah.
And they just go and they do their own thing, and they try to say, well, this is what it is, and it's, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Like you're the truth teller, and everybody's like, okay, I'll believe this, but I won't believe this. Yeah. And so I'm a little bit hoarse, so that's my problem. I was just sick not too long ago, but that's basically what's going on. I'm getting that a lot. I go into these groups and all this other stuff, and when you talk to people, it's like they have their own thing going, and it's they say, well, this Antony is right in this. I've read his books, but excuse me, he's a little bit crazy here, or he knows what he's talking about there, but right here he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I'm like, the books are there, man. He's telling you the truth. He's opened up this. Actually, Japanese culture seems a lot more addicting to me now. Like I can't stop reading. Now I'm into Stephen Turnbull because of you and all these other authors. And learning so much more now.
Isn't it crazy how much we didn't know? For all of us who were samurai fanatics, myself included, I was like, and then you just actually question yourself, and you're like, actually, we don't know anything. Now, don't get me wrong, people have known about dates and which army did this and all that for years. We all standard history. But actually, what do the samurai do? What do ninjas do? No, it's all new to us. And you know the amount of people that say to me now, we already knew this, Antony, before you. So at first, it was like, Antony, you're wrong. You're an idiot. You don't speak Japanese. You don't know anything. Then it was like, okay, you might be right on some things, but you don't know everything. And then the next stage was like, right, okay, you're right, but, and then just start getting angry. And then like, but I hate you. I've had that as well. You might be right, but I hate you. Okay. So I'm right then or not? Which one?
Yeah, exactly. I want to clear some things up really quick. I know the answer to this, but I don't know what happened to there was a YouTube channel called the Great Scott Baio.
Yep.
You remember him? Dieter or whatever.
Scott Baio is dead.
The Scott Baio is dead, right? And he did a lot of good reviews on your books, but then there was another video where he was criticizing you for attempting to start your own ninja clan.
Yep.
And my question, as I'm a fan of Antony Cummins, and I kind of know the answer to this, but for everyone who's going to see this, Antony Cummins, are you a ninja?
Absolutely not.
Because you started this whole Notori Ryu, which I love. It's great. Are you a ninja, Antony?
I have this. In fact, I even did a video on this yesterday. You cannot be a ninja unless you were born in Japan between certain dates. You're a medieval warrior. You're hired by a clan lord. No chance. Like if I research Vikings, say, does that make me a Viking? Or if I reenact Viking? No, it doesn't. So you can't be a ninja. But that's not that might let a lot of people down, but it is not a problem. There is one of my friends said to me once, and I thought it was the best quote ever. He said, why don't we just research or train in everything James Bond can train in, everything he can do, just for fun, and imagine how cool you'd be just because you could. So imagine if you could speak Russian, parachute, scuba dive, all those things. Would somebody turn around and go, oh, you're not really James Bond? You're like, no, I'm not, but look what I can do. So the same thing is with Natori Ryu. And the reason I started Natori Ryu, the reason I did it is to give people an option. If there was no other ninja schools in the world, I probably wouldn't have started it. Well, the simple fact is, people are like, oh, where can I train ninjutsu? That was a question I got all the time. And I've always liked the idea of continuing samurai, schools. So I found Natori, which is one of the obviously most comprehensive samurai schools in the world. And we're putting it together so people can do it. And that's why.
Yeah, that's basically it. It's the way that I see it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm a student of the HEMA organization.
Yeah.
I've been doing HEMA. And so, I see it like kind of like that, where, you're teaching something that's basically been long dead, and now here you are with permission from the people who are like now the head of the Natori Ryu clan, right? So to speak.
Basically, each Japanese family have a head, and it's still like that today. So they have a head family. Now, some are big, some are powerful. For example, the Tokugawa family is still in existence. They still have a head of the Tokugawa family. So each little family is that. And the Natori family, which are only a small family in Japan, but are the correct descendants of the Natori school, which has their ninjutsu in it, their Shinobi no Jutsu in it. They're still there today, and they're very supportive of what we do. They're very, very happy.
That's awesome. So here we go. This is a kind of like officially the first question, right? We can't use the word ninja, so to speak, or make it official, right? We're trying to move away from ninja or ninjutsu, and move on to shinobi, right? And make that the mainstream word, right?
Yes.
So here goes. My thing is this. In the Japanese, and I'm going to say this freely, I don't care who gets mad, they tend to slaughter our words sometimes, and they use they adapt them into their culture. So, for example, if you ask them, how do you say the word head coach? A Japanese guy might say hedukochi. Well, that's basically, damn it, that's head coach.
Totally.
And their
Yeah,
accent
ask
became
one
part
of
of the
them.
language.
Ask one of them to say the word whistle. It is whisulu. And what? A whisulu. And you're like, no, say it again.
So my question is, why is it that we can't use the word ninja or adapt it into the English language? And like the shorter version of, shinobi in English.
Well, actually, the word ninja obviously is the most popular. However, the word, it probably wasn't used in medieval Japan. So if we're going to be historically accurate, shinobi no mono, shinobi, or shinobi no jutsu. However, I still use the word ninja and ninjutsu because it's more popular. But I'm trying to push everyone towards shinobi and shinobi no jutsu because that's what the Japanese would have said in the medieval period. If you'd have said to a Japanese person in the medieval period, ninja, they might have not known what you mean. If you write the characters down, they go, oh, shinobi no mono, I know what you mean.
So what is it, all this arguing about it having started in the 1950s, that it didn't exist before that? And then somebody else came out in our debates and 1930s. There's somebody who, I think 1939, someone had written a precursor or something like that to the word ninjutsu, or that's a big argument going on right now, where like that word did not exist before the 1950s.
Right. So basically, this is you've got to be careful here of what we actually say. The pronunciation didn't exist. So the actual physical word, which is in Japanese kanji, which means endurance or stealth and person, absolutely existed, and it was pronounced shinobi no mono. Same ideograms, same Japanese, but like all Japanese, you can read it two ways. So actually, they are correct. The word ninja or ninsha was not pronounced that way, they think, until about the 1950s, 1900s, something like that. It's about the way you read the ideograms. So the word, so basically the word nin on its own actually can be pronounced shinobu, and the word sha on its own can be pronounced as mono. So what they're saying is that it's exactly what I've been saying. So they're actually arguing on my side there. It's like shinobi no mono is what they used to say, but since about the 1950s, and we can't guarantee when, but the 1900s, the word ninja has been used and probably wasn't used so much in medieval periods.
Oh, wow. Okay. Here's another question that it's been bothering me since I saw your documentary about your life and all that and your background. You mentioned, I guess his name is Takamatsu.
Yep.
The originator of the modern day ninja.
Yes.
Stephen Hayes and all these other guys came, and he's like the original. So you said something about him having started ninjutsu using manga. What does that mean? Like,
so, okay, if those are unaware, this is the Bujinkan organization. So the Bujinkan was basically founded, well, Togakure, the original name for what they did, was found by a man called Takamatsu. And he claims to be a ninja that goes way back to the 1100s. He claims to be like the 33rd Grandmaster. My major point and why everybody hates me is I just simply said that's not true. There's no evidence for it, and it seems made up. Now, what I think he has done from all my research, all my years of looking at it, is he's looked at original ninja manuals, ninja scrolls, which are available in Japan, or in books and prints and things like that. He's also researched jujitsu, that type of stuff, some of that. And he's also looked at the manga comics, the animation, that maybe not animation, but the comics, because the stuff he has is just so out there that it's a little bit crazy. So, for example, he says, when a samurai attacks a ninja, the ninja will do a backflip and a cartwheel and then throw shuriken at the samurai and they die. Or they jump up into a tree and throw 9 shuriken at the people surrounding the tree and they all die. And there's lots of cartwheels and spinning and basically everything that was in the comics and novels of his day.
Why would someone do something like that?
It's
what inspired him or motivated him to do something like this, where he had all this and manga of all things? Come on, it's like if I went and created a martial art based on what I read up in a Captain America comic or a Shang-Chi comic, or you know what I mean?
Well, you're actually not far off it. If you look at the original Bujinkan lineage, not the Grandmasters, but an offshoot lineage of it, they've actually got a comic character in it, and he didn't realize it was, because a lot of comic characters are based on historical figures. So, back in Japan, like the 10 Sanada Braves, it was, and people like that. So what he did is took one, thinking it was a historical character, but somebody had made a comic out of it. Actually, it was just a comic character, so you can exactly pin down when it was made up. And he added it to his lineage, saying, yeah, these were the ancient ninja masters. It's the same as me saying, I studied from Wolverine.
Oh, man.
It's that bad. Of course, they'll absolutely cover all this up now. And there's even books were written by Masaki Hatsumi later explaining why he put a comic character in. And, it was a bit of a joke, or, he did it to trick people. No, he just didn't understand his research at the time. So, and then, of course, if you paint anything, where you can make the foundations of things, like, for example, Knights Templar. So the Bujinkan, I always compare to the Knights Templar. I'm white, I'm English. What if I turn around to you and said, okay, I'm a real Knights Templar, and even though they were banned in this year and they were fell, I've had secret knowledge passed down to me, and yet everything I told you was from comics or from novels. You would be like, no. But because he's Japanese, everybody's like, oh, okay, I believe him. Why do you believe in one and not the other? It's the same thing. It's exactly the fact that dates even match.
And at this point, it's become such a big organization and a big sell. So it's kind of hard to go back and, right?
That's
all
why
of this.
I have actually said to people have said to me, Antony's just after money and everything. And my answer to that is, if I was after money, I'd have just said the Bujinkan was real and then sold all my books and then have welcomed for it. But I couldn't. I was like, nope, that's not true. And because they are a big money machine, they really are. And hence I've had to say, listen, guys, I'm sorry, but that's not correct. And that has caused all the problem because people have got 40 years invested in it. Like, I grew up from 10, investing myself in it. And some people are 20 years on me. So they've got 40, 50 years invested in the ninja and in the Bujinkan. Wow. And a lot of money. People don't realize how much money people have paid to get to that level. And then for somebody like 20 years younger than them to turn around and say, no, that's wrong. They're like,
And the amount of trouble you can get into.
Yeah. You also got the, I like to call it the Kill Bill syndrome, which is you killed my master, I'll kill you. This I will kill you. You're like, you called my master a liar. You are my enemy. You're like, what? All right.
Yeah, I remember our first interview when I had posted it up on Facebook. I got into a lot of trouble, a lot of heat, man. I got a lot of phone calls, and this ninja master wants to talk to you. Call him. He has a word for you. I had a couple of guys tell me, you better take that off, man, because this guy's a fraud and da-da-da. I don't know. So that tells you right there that Antony Cummins is the real deal, because
when it angers people, because if something's fraud and fake, unless it's a really bad thing, but it usually gets laughed at. But when people are angry and it's about them, it's usually a truth, isn't it?
Yeah. So I have one last question, and I told you I was going to keep it short. I'm having a hard time kind of like understanding the differences between a thief ninja and an actual ninja or a shinobi. I think you had once said that you had a thief was called an ashinobi or a shinobi. So I need to know the differences because, I know that there was more than one type of shinobi no mono, right?
So basically, right, what this is this is the blurred line between it all. So there's different words in Japanese. So there's, first of all, tozoku is like a gang of thieves that break into your house. Then you get nusabito, which actually, again, is like a thief coming into your house. When you also get just shinobi, which it basically means infiltrator. So the word shinobi just means infiltrator. But what we find is that word is used in two places. In the military, where it comes across as shinobi no mono, which seems to be a military-esque position. But then it also gets used later for anybody breaking into your house. So you will get this distinct difference between a person who's hired by the military to break into enemy and then a person who's just breaking into your house for goods. Sometimes they both get labeled as just shinobi. And even though that sounds, they're both shinobi, in the Japanese language, it just means infiltrator came in, a burglar came in, and that's all it means. So that's where the mix-up comes. So actually, that's why we find the word monomi after it, which is no mono, shinobi no mono, which is basically it's a suffix that means part of this group, part of that, part of an organization. And we also get things like shinobi no shu, which means group attached to, shinobi gumi, and there they're definitely military bands, bands together.
Okay, great. So now
there is one thing I want to answer for you though before we end, which I thought is you went in your emails. You've said that people are debating whether the ninja exist or don't exist, whether they existed. So I think what's happened here is some people are debating whether the word ninja exists. Well, the like I said, the ideograms exist, the word shinobi no mono exists, but the pronunciation comes later. However, what's happening now is some people say, the ninja didn't exist. This is totally wrong, totally fake, because we have historical documentation that goes all the way back to the 1500s. In fact, the word pops up in the 1300s, but there's problems with that because it's not very specific. It doesn't tell you exactly what these people do. But by the late 1500s, the 1580s, there is definitely the word pops up. And even if those documents are debated, which some are, by 100% the year 1600, 1609 it is exactly, or 1612, around there, we 100% have the kanji, the ideogram for shinobi, saying they are a special type of infiltrator, spy, saboteur working for the army. Absolutely. So for about 500 years, the word shinobi has been in Japan. It's been used in official documents. It's used in sort of clan registries. And yet still on the internet, people saying, ninjas didn't exist. I'll tell you now, that is absolute rubbish. They did, without a doubt.
Yeah, I see a lot of people elated on their information as well. I'll tell you what, though, your books have helped me a lot. Some of these debates I've won, and I've seen people apologize later on in some of their posts. I think I got this wrong, or you know what I mean? So, at first you see these debates that they try to make you feel like a simpleton,
Yeah.
But, like I said, the information's there. You've done a great job at putting it out there, the truth. And actually, you've made it more fascinating.
I'm glad, because that's what I've been trying to do, is get it across to people.
Antony Cummins is an author, and sometimes in my mind, he's like such a badass. So I have a question. Do you play video games at all, or any type of entertainment?
No, I'm the worst person in the world. My friends all do, so I'm well aware of it all. I get email after email through this Ghosts bloody computer game. I tried to play once Skyrim. So first of all, when I was 15, I played Shinobi. Do you remember Shinobi? the game.
Yes.
Game. Loved it. Played it all night. No problem. But then games got too complicated for me. It was far too complicated. So I started playing Street Fighter with my friend. He beat me every time, so it was boring. I was like, I can't do this. So I just used to punch him for real instead. Do you know what I mean? I'd just punch him anyway because I couldn't beat him in the games. And then I watched a friend. I tried to play Skyrim. And I watched a friend do it, and it really switched me off it because he sat there making leather thongs out of a wolf pelt or something and selling it to the local guy, you know, as they do, making money. And I was like that. No, that's not for me. I wanted to kill dragons. No, thank you. So as much as I would love to be able to play them, I'm terrible at them. But I do like film quite a lot. I love film. But my favourite film of all time is Dracula 1991 with Keanu Reeves and Anthony Hopkins. It is outstanding. I'm a Hammer horror buff. I love British horror films, old Hammer horror, Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing. Can watch it all day. And of course, I've seen a million Japanese films. However, recently, I've stopped watching Japanese films because they're historically inaccurate about ninja, and it makes me angry. So I'm like,
Are you telling me Akira Kurosawa is inaccurate?
Say again?
Are you telling me Akira Kurosawa is inaccurate?
Actually, he's one of the better ones, you know. If you watch him, he's closer. So he's one of the best ones. Especially, I love his Throne of Blood, which is it's Macbeth, isn't it, in samurai times, which you can't get any more cool than that. I'm going to do Macbeth in the Sengoku period. Okay, you carry on.
That's great. That's great. So, where can we find you? Any books you want to recommend?
So, new books out this one, How to Be a Modern Samurai. So, basically, 10 steps to finding your power and achieving success. I was asked to write this by my publisher, to be honest. So, I think we've done a good job, and I hope it. But please come across to my YouTube channel, Antony Cummins. You'll see it's got all the ninja videos in. Guys, I just want to give you a message. I'm not here to annoy anyone. That's never what I wanted to do. I simply was a ninja fan. I was a ninja student, and I realised it was wrong. So I just put it behind me, and I found the truth, and it was mega interesting. And we've still got loads more research to do before we get to the very bottom of it all.